beautiful creative soul. I'm so happy and grateful that you're here today. We're going to be looking at this 1111 portal in the wake of the new moon energies that are here now, and really unpacking it all and looking at what it means for you right now, wherever you are in your journey. Hello, my name is Pollyanna Blanco, and I am a sacred self-care coach, a creative midwife, helping busy light workers like yourself to care as much for yourself as you care for the world while you're birthing your dreams. I'm so happy and excited to share with you in these incredible energies, really what is birthing collectively, as well as inviting you to notice what is birthing in you. Some of you may have a very clear idea that there's something in you that you've been birthing all along, while other people may be having a sense that there's something that wants to birth through them, but they can't quite put their finger on it yet. And then there might be other people who are kind of feeling, I'm not sure what it is. I just know that what I'm experiencing now is out of alignment, and it's not something that lifts me up, inspires me, and makes me feel like I want to get out of bed every morning and jump for joy. It doesn't matter where you are on your journey right now. It's all good, because it's all here to serve us to be on our highest possible timeline and to share our sacred soul gifts with the world. And to frame this conversation, I just want to start off by saying, if you have been experiencing since this past January all kinds of challenges, things showing up in your way that seem to be in your way, that seem to be, slowing things down, or, taking you in a different direction than you thought you wanted to go, or maybe just, presenting what feel like obstacles to you. And maybe you've been feeling a little bit discouraged along the way. Maybe you've been feeling a little bit, like, should I even bother pursuing my heart's desires, these dreams, or am I, starting to doubt yourself, question if it's even really possible? Then, beautiful creative soul, I am so happy and grateful that you're here, because I am here to share with you that if you're watching this video right now, it's because something in you, beyond all the static out here, deep down inside, knows this to be true. How do I know that myself? Well, I've been on my own creative journey now for pretty much my whole life, consciously, artistically, as well as energetically with energy healing and whatnot. Years ago, I knew that there was a book inside of me. I'll use that example just to kind of put a frame around all of this. I had the sensation that there was a book inside of me. I had been encouraged to write since I was a child. I wrote poetry. I had published a few poems here and there, including one at age 6. And I just knew that there was something inside of me that wanted to be expressed in the written form. And I would stop and start that project. And it literally took me 10 years to write my very first book, In Rhythm with Your Soul, Break Through the Barriers to Being Creative, Face Your Demons and Dance. And that was because of all the second guessing, the doubting, the hesitancy, the inner critic stuff going on, the noise, the static, right out here. And so as a result, I literally went into this place of slowing myself down, slowing my momentum down. I got in my own way. And so if you have this inkling that there's something greater than just your day-to-day sort of survival needs being met, that wants to emerge through this experience of life here on earth that you came here to co-create, to birth, then I wholeheartedly invite you to stay to the very end of this video. because I'm going to be pulling some oracle cards today. That's what Spirit guided me to offer all of you today as a service to support you at this time, so that you don't throw in the towel too soon. Because if you don't co-create and follow those creative impulses to add your harmony into the world, your alignment into the world, into the collective, into the unified field of being, then the world simply will not have it. And conversely, if when you do add it into the world, there's a beautiful ripple effect. Even just touching one person's life actually touches many people's lives. And this is why I feel guided to just trust my own intuitive guidance to show up today. And every time I get on video, or every time I share something along these lines, because even in fact, earlier today on Oneness Talk Radio, I did a live about how to care for yourself through these shifting times, especially in the wake of the 1111 portal. So let's just start for a second with what is the 1111 portal? Well, it is an exciting moment. There are these heightened times throughout the year where the universe really wants us to pay attention, to notice what we're noticing. And now that we live in a digital age with digital clocks, we don't have to wait until the 11th of November to see 1111. You might have been noticing that 1111 has been showing up in your now experience multiple times. 1111 is an angel number. It's a master number. It's a number that is letting you know that you are wanting to birth something new. And it's also an invitation in the moment to notice in this exact moment where you see those numbers 1111 showing up, whether it's on your cell phone or on your clock or somewhere else. What are you thinking? What are you focusing on? Is it a match to what it is that you feel inspired to co-create with the universe? Or are you possibly in a place, a frequency, an emotional state of vibration that is a mismatch for it? And there's no judgment in any of this. These are like check-in points from the universe. We've heard your heart's desires. We know what dreams you came here to birth. We've even given you sneak previews through your third eye chakra, through your star consciousness awareness of little tidbits of what good and what blessings are awaiting your readiness, your spiritual readiness to show up for them, to show up for yourself, to stay online with the divine, and to trust your intuitive hits and guidance. So when you see that 1111, it is that sacred invitation to trust yourself, trust the divine, and notice what you're noticing. Amplify that on the 11th of November. And that double 1111, actually, when you break it down, it becomes a 4 energy. And in ascended numerology, the 4 is all about perfect balance. And so when we are balanced and stabilized, it makes it possible for us to feel safe enough to trust ourselves, to trust the universe. Perfect balance is about so much more than our physical experience and emotions. We are multidimensional beings. We have a physical body, which is kind of like our cosmic vehicle, or jumpsuit, if you will, it's like our body temple, really, where the divine can express through this kind of form. And we also have a sort of energetic bodies around this physical form. We have an emotional body, we have a mental body, we have a spiritual body, and so on. And we have this expanded self that's this energy bubble around us that is informing our physical body through our energetic creative centers known as chakras. And so there's this rich intercommunication, interplaying between what appears to be most real, our physical body, and this energetic body, and all the ways that the different bodies, the different energetic centers along our spine called chakras, give and receive, send and receive information in the form of energy. And so when we begin to open our awareness, our consciousness to our expanded multidimensional self and multidimensional presence, that's when life gets juicy good. That's when it's like, wow, we have a buffet of infinite possibilities to play with. And even when those things that show up in our life as challenges that don't feel super comfortable, those are often initiations to release the false self. Yes, the false self, the us with all the extra layers. I call them like a heavy coat that we're wearing, layers of protection through coping mechanisms, through limited beliefs, through distortions in our field of what's most real, past life experiences, because really there's no time anyways. It's just, there's many different versions of us. We've got this version of ourselves, and then we've got that version of ourselves, and we've got that version of ourselves. And sometimes, that's when we get overwhelmed, because we've got all these different versions of ourselves simultaneously having an opinion about any one now moment. And so this is the multidimensionality I'm speaking of. So when we are literally in that place of, feeling unsafe, feeling that life is challenging us, then what happens is we become very much in a space of overwhelm. And that overwhelm pinches off our co-creative capacity, because it puts us back into our survival brain. And it puts us back into keeping the heavy coat on of coping mechanisms, as opposed to lightening up and peeling off the layers. So if you would like to kind of learn more about what I'm talking about with that, I encourage you to watch my video, my live from this morning on the Multidimensional Muse channel that you're watching this one on under lives, or on Oneness Talk Radio. Today, here, what I feel guided to share with you is this message about really trusting yourself. The new moon energies are inviting all of us to have faith in what may not yet be out picturing in our lives, to renew our faith, to renew our trust in ourselves, to renew our way of seeing what has happened over this past year. And what I mean by that is that what is also activating for all of us, whether we're aware of it or not, is our star consciousness. And our star consciousness is all about our ability to see beyond the veil. It's about our ability to tap into and tune into our intuitive capacity that sees ourselves outside of time, outside of this perceived reality and the way things should be or need to be or have to be, and comes from that inner knowing that anchors in from our heart space, the crystalline center in our heart, and opens us up to our multidimensional divine presence that is possible when our sacred feminine and divine masculine are entering into sacred union with one another. So if that sounds like a lot, it's really something that, if you're here now and you're listening to this, it's because you're on that journey, and it's something that is emerging from within you. And each and every one of us experiences that journey in a very unique way. And so I'm here today to share broad brushstrokes with you. And invite you to notice what you've been noticing in your own life and how this fills in for you in your own now experience. Sometimes it can be incredibly helpful to step back from the immediacy of whatever seems to be most real in our lives and let go of it, because what actually we're letting go of is the illusion of reality rather than reality itself. The divine reality that is available to us now is that all is truly well and everything is here to serve us, to help us to grow and expand beyond those limitations. And so I'm going to invite you to choose a number between 1 and 4 in the spirit of perfect balance. And in a moment, I'm going to be sharing a different oracle card pull from 4 different decks that I felt guided to use today, to play with today, to offer you a message, an inspired, intuitive message that's coming through me today. So here we go. I invite you just to place your hands on your heart. Breathe in and out. And just allow a number to float up into your awareness. Numbered between 1 and 4. There it is. Don't overthink it. Don't second guess it. Which one flashed? You might have seen it. You might have heard it. You might have thought of it. You might have seen it in front of you, flash in front of you, and it just pulled your attention towards it. Trust it. And here we go. And what I feel guided to pull on for the number 1 number is the Angel Lightwork deck. That's the one that's calling to me right now. And this is the beautiful deck by Alana Fairchild. It's called Angelic Lightwork. So if you pulled a number 1, I'm just going to shuffle the cards right now in real time. And it's funny, I've used oracle cards throughout different periods in serving, and sometimes I've pulled back from using them. I felt a call to go back to them again because I feel that they are a wonderful way to catch our attention, just like the 1111 does. We live in a 3D world where we often need some sort of tangible, I guess you could say, expression of that which we already know to be true, just as an affirmation or a confirmation. So this is why I'm feeling now on Earth with so much shifting and changing. It's so important that we all learn and remember to trust our intuitive divine guidance. And oftentimes we just need that extra reassurance and that confirmation. So that is my intention with using oracle cards today, is to make it tangible on some level for any part of you that may not be fully on board yet with the birthing process that you're going through in terms of what wants to show up in your now experience, especially with these new moon energies. Okay, and I'm feeling called that it's this card right here. Okay, so if you pulled number 1, oh, this is beautiful. Your heart is a healer. And this is a 22. It's actually a master number. It's about sacred union within. And what I love about it, it's got the 4, oh my goodness, this is amazing. It's got the four directions in it. And it's also speaking to something very timely right now that's happening as we speak, that's opened up on the earth plane right now. And it is, we have an upward expansion and a downward constriction, I guess is what I want to say. And then there's this line through here, and there's this opening. And so the opening is where we open to our capacity to see beyond the veil, beyond what is outpicturing in our lives, especially if what's outpicturing in our lives isn't something, like I said before, that excites us, that uplifts us, that inspires us, that brings us joy. Or maybe it is. Either way, it's in this horizontal. And I often feel like the horizontal is, so many of us have been programmed to look out there, You know, if we're looking for more love, we look out there often first. If we're looking for more money, we look out there first. If we're looking for something material, you know, to manifest in our lives, we look out there. And we also have this vertical orientation, which is about shifting our focus from all the distractions and noise out there to getting still and quiet, which is what this season is all about energetically, and connecting with our intuition, connecting with the divine presence in us, inviting it into our human form through conscious intention, through inner work, through noticing what we're noticing. And this is the beautiful awareness that if you pulled number one, it is a reminder to also notice in your heart if there's any grief, any resentment, any woundedness that keeps resurfacing right now. In other words, are you putting more layers on you to protect your heart from disappointment? I feel like for some of you, there's this fear that stems from disappointment, of not wanting to be, even I'm hearing for some of you, humiliated or made to feel less than, or maybe you're comparing yourself to other people. I'm getting that when I tune into this card too. And it is really a sacred invitation to remind you, which way are you sourcing your creative energy? And what the guides are sharing with you right now is, if you're sourcing it horizontally, which we've been so programmed to do, then there is an opportunity here, eyes wide open, and not just physical eyes wide open, but by slowing down and getting into the center, which is in the, you know, the heart chakra center, and sitting with and noticing whatever is coming up inside of you, whether it, and not trying to change it or fix it, but just being present to it and loving it, and allowing that to be what is the medicine right now. And if that is something that I feel like for some of you, you're afraid to open Pandora's box. You're afraid you're going to be overwhelmed by the emotion. You're afraid you're not going to be able to keep up with your day, or you're telling yourself you don't have enough time to do that. So it comes out sideways by caring for other people, by it's easier to care for them than it is to care for yourself. Or perhaps even there's a sense that I don't deserve to care for myself, because there might be some self-punishment in there too, some old programming as well too, around it's not safe for me to be loved. So what I would invite you, if you pulled the number for this card, is number one, is to place your hands on your heart every single day and affirm to yourself, it's safe for me to love myself. I love and approve of myself. And to really invite yourself the spaciousness to just be with whatever is coming up, because in that spaciousness, there is going to be not only a dissolution of those old energies, because when we feel it, we heal it. There's also going to be a spaciousness that invites in a reorientation, is what they're saying, to vertically sourcing the inspiration, that deep heart knowing that's underneath all those layers that have been feeling heavy, so that you can move forward and claim what it is you most want to co-create, even if you're not sure how, just to know it's your truth. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to have it all planned out. You just need to know what it is and honor that knowing. That is the first step, outside of anything that would seek to distract you or tell you otherwise. That is the truth. And, you know, when we look at this card too, there's also a sense of when you're able and willing and open to doing that, to just being still within. This is the balancing that's happening right now. Okay, so that's the message for this card. If you pick number 2, the next step that I feel guided to work with is this one here, and it's Messages of Life. It's a lovely deck from Mario Dupuy. Hope I'm saying that correctly. He's from Quebec, Canada. And I'm going to shuffle the cards here in real time. Okay, this is the card that wants to come forward. Appreciation. I'm grateful for the abundance in my life as I direct my thoughts toward all that is wonderful in my world. My troubles and worries lighten. With a full heart, I appreciate all that I have. Today, I accept what is as it is and choose to be satisfied. I express my loving thanks to the universe for the wealth that is mine. Okay, so this card here is very much for those of you who are focusing, they're saying, a little bit more on what the problem is. And it's an invitation to go into gratitude for all the things that are working in your life. There is always something that is working in our lives. We have a warm bed to go to sleep in. We have shelter over our heads. I mean, if it has to come down to the most essential things, there are people in the world that are struggling to even have that sometimes. So it's starting off with finding something to feel grateful for, to feel appreciative of. When we start to see the beauty around us, we expand that, and that expands us, because everything is one. It's a field. Being magnetic to our heart's desires to birth something new, we need to really, the way I want to say it is, we can't be a mismatch. We can't be 2 different pairs of socks. We can't say, I really want to write a book, and then be focused on all the times we didn't get it going, or say it's that yes but energy. So it's really important during the new moon that you honor and appreciate and give thanks to all the things in your life that are working. And really, they're saying to you to really feel into, and when I say feel into, something's coming through too about, it's going to sound a bit counterintuitive, but imagine you didn't have them. I know that maybe sounds a little dangerous, but imagine for a moment you didn't have them. Because we've all had an experience in our life where something that we took for granted, we thought it was going to be there forever. Maybe it was a friendship, a relationship, something in our lives, someone in our lives. And then all of a sudden, something changed suddenly, and that was no longer part of our experience. And we just took it for granted. It's a little bit of that, of really, if that's what it takes to really recognize and appreciate what we do have. This is, again, another, interestingly enough, heart chakra card. So just wanted to share that with all of you. The next card I feel guided to pull is from this deck here, and it is the Lightworker Oracle Guidebook from Alana Fairchild. And shuffle these in real time. So this is the card that wants to come forward. Ooh, this is interesting. Hold your center. And it's card number 34, which is a 7 energy. It's perfect balance plus the Trinity. And so it's about transformation for sure. And there's a beautiful image here of a portal, a gateway, with a dove of freedom above it. And there's this sort of constricted self, I'm feeling guided to say, and then the expanded divine mastery presence here. And there's a garden on the other side of this gateway or portal. And there's steps that are descending. So it's really an invitation to, with this card, if you pulled number 3 as your card, to really, your center is also your heart. This is interesting. It's another heart card. And there's a sacred garden in the heart that so many spiritual teachers speak of, that it's really an invitation to notice how you might be experiencing feelings of unworthiness or not feeling deserving of the blessings that are here for you and just waiting for you to claim. That maybe a part of you feels less than, a part of you. And when I say part of you, it's like we might know we want something and yet we feel uncomfortable asking for it. Or we might be telling ourselves things like it won't happen, it won't come true. Or we might be, coming from that place of lack and scarcity, that things don't turn out for me, or the other shoe is going to drop. And yet the doorway is just on the other side of those limiting beliefs. It's just on the other side of those hesitations and doubts and fears. And all we need to do is rise up and step up and move through. So rise up, step up, and move through is the message. So whatever has got you, whether it's your thoughts, your beliefs, what you're saying to yourself about something that really wants to come into being, the rise up is just a step away. And it's just a matter of changing the direction that you're moving in. It's not far away. They're saying it's so close. It's the difference in one moment between telling yourself you won't or you can't and you will. And just it's that subtle shift in the moment of where you're placing your attention. So this is definitely, for those of you who pulled card number 3, messages coming through loud and clear to renew your faith at this new moon. The very first card that I pulled was for number 1. It's very interesting. It's more about in this new moon, it's about restoring balance, about slowing down and going inside of yourself so that you can connect with your sacred center and access your inner knowing. The second card is about noticing what you've already manifested and co-created from your past choices, and give yourself credit for them, really celebrate them, and know that more is coming your way. And just delight in the fact that many blessings await you, and that all you need to do is pat yourself on the back and thank the universe for all that you have co-created. And so some things went a little wonky or sideways. This is part of the creative process. And it's not something that we need to beat ourselves up for, put ourselves down about. It's just merely part of the process of getting clearer about what is really most in alignment for us moving forward. And then, of course, we have the card I just pulled about really trusting yourself to rise up, step up, and move through whatever feels like is not available to you. That's just the illusion. And it's about time, just taking that trust, and it's the time to step through all of that. And then the final, you pulled number 4. I'm working with this deck here. It's the Chakra Wisdom Oracle. And it's by Tori Hartman. I haven't worked with this one in a while, but I've always loved this one. Such a rich deck. And I'm going to shuffle these in real time and pull a card. So if you pulled number 4, ooh, this is really nice. Number 4 is all about renewal. And the interesting thing too is it is a root chakra card. The renewal I'm hearing is, there's a woman here, and she's got the expanded rays coming off of her crown chakra. And when we're grounded in our body, the ability to connect to our intuitive and higher guidance is what will make it possible for us to know what is available. And so when we're not grounded in our root chakra, we can go into fear, into scarcity, into lack, into old programming around all of that. And so around her on one side, there is this, and it's interesting because it's her right side is kind of barren, and on the left side, it's very green and lush. So it's also the importance of sitting down, getting grounded, feeling that connection to the earth, and trusting in your intuition. Because when you're grounded, like I just shared, you can connect to your intuition more clearly. When your earth star chakra beneath your foot, beneath your root chakra is anchored, then we can connect to our soul star chakra, which is about 8 inches above our crown chakra at the top of our head. And we can begin to create this beautiful continuum of divine presence in human form. And then we can, once we have a stable root chakra in the traditional chakra system, we can begin to move up into the chalice of our heart chakra and begin to open our ascended chakras. You know, so many more people are talking about chakras now than they were even 2 years ago or 5 years ago. It's not woo-woo anymore. And so, you know, the more we open our awareness to ourselves as not just physical meat bots, but energetic beings as well, then the more we heal and we open and expand the possibilities of what's available for us, not just for ourselves, but for everyone else on the planet. And I'm just going to take a peek at the message too. The message in this one, renewal, I'm feeling guided to look at that. And that is over here. Yeah, right here. I'm going to pop my glasses on. Is, okay. What appears to be an end may not be one after all. This may turn into a remarkable opportunity. Trust that whatever is coming is better than what you have known to this point. So really, this is a very important card for right now, because it's all about acknowledging that some things need to fall away. Some things need to be let go of. And in letting go of them, and it's 4:44 p.m., the angels are with us. And then letting go of them, we're actually, you can't receive with closed hands, right? So it's the opening ourselves up to new possibilities. And sometimes, like I said before, what we're actually letting go of, that we're clinging to, is the false belief or the illusion. And transformation is all about the death and rebirth. You know, it's not, when we let go of something, for example, it might be a relationship at work or with a colleague, or, you know, in our personal lives or family lives, it's not the person. You know, we tend to think in terms of 3D, you know, concrete examples of this, but what we're letting go of is the illusion, the expectations, the stuck patterns. It may not be the relationship itself, and yet, you know, our ego scares us into believing that if we let go of this person, and because things have changed and it's not the way it once was, that it can never be. There is a possibility it may have, you know, served its purpose, and something new may step in, a new relationship, a new experience. And at the same time, it also creates a spaciousness when we honor our highest truth for the other person to receive their highest truth and healing. We have no control over that. However, at the same time as we honor our truth, it opens the possibilities up for someone else to grow. When we're clinging, we are literally keeping that possibility at bay, not only for ourselves, but for the other person. You know, so this is where we're all interconnected. And the more each and every one of us can get past all the outer noise, get grounded in our body, centered in our heart, and online with the divine, the more we have an inner compass that's not in. And a lot of what's been shifting right now too is a lot of us in the past Libra energies have been in South Node energy, which is the unhealed child, the child wounds, the past programs, the ancestral programs, you know, and now with this new moon energy, we're being invited to step into our north node, to follow our North Star. And so this is all about the inner work that we're willing to do. It has nothing to do with anyone outside of us. How we show up in the outer world will be a result of how much we show up for ourselves, and how many dust bunnies and cobwebs and and just, creative clutter we get out of the way so that we can shine. It's very interesting too. There's a personal inquiry here. I am positive in the face of change or defeated. Am I ready to step into the new me? And this is that thing about the clinging, right? Are you ready? Are you ready to let go and let God? Are you okay with embracing the mystery of it all, and not maybe knowing exactly what your next step is, but being open to having it revealed to you? And yeah, it's very interesting. So really, it's another beginning. So, and it's also talking about geranium. So if you happen to love flowers, I know we're, depending on where you live, we might be moving more, you might be in fall now, like I am here. Maybe buy yourself some geraniums, or have some red flowers close to you to symbolize that, to hold that space and that energy for you. So that's what came through today. And I really want to wish each and every one of you a wonderful new moon and many, many blessings. And, as you navigate these times, these shifting times, you don't have to go it alone. You've always got the divine on your side. When you are feeling alone, just know that's an illusion. And at the same time, until perhaps you really, feel that 100%, sometimes it's really helpful to have someone walking by your side to squeeze your hand through the birth pains and wipe your sweaty brow. And so that's where perhaps someone like myself comes in. As I shared earlier, I'm a creative midwife. And what I love to do is to champion the sacred self-care of lightworkers, birthing their sacred soul gifts into the world. And what does a creative midwife do? Well, she helps you to take care of yourself physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. When you're birthing a baby, you make adjustments to your life. You might change your diet. You might change how you exercise on the physical level. Emotionally, your priorities shift in terms of how you, slow down perhaps and pay attention to your body's signs and signals. Mentally, you remember that there's something special happening in your life. You've got a life birthing inside of your body. And so you nourish that life inside of you with positive thoughts, loving thoughts. And if any fears come up, you get support. And spiritually, you trust that this life that's birthing in you is a blessing, and that all is well, and the baby will, emerge 9 months later, healthy and well, because you're healthy and well and doing everything to take good care of yourself. It's no different with our creative pursuits, our callings. Maybe it's just birthing yourself anew. Maybe you've gone through a major life transition at work, in your personal life, divorce, empty nester, career shift. You've just gone through or are going through a physical illness and are recovering from it. The sky's the limit. You might be birthing yourself anew. You might be on this inner awakening journey and feeling lost or discouraged and wanting to throw in the towel. That's where someone like myself comes in. And it would be an honor and a pleasure, like I shared before, to walk beside you so that you don't have to go it alone, and you can experience a new way of being with yourself that nourishes self-love, self-acceptance, and compassion, and divinely empowers you to live your best life and to just be here to do what you came here and to do and be in every way. So if that's something you would like support with, please click the links below. You can email me at info@pollyannablanco.com. You can book a soul call with me, and you'll get a free complimentary 30-minute session with me. It's called a miracle map session, where you look at where you are and where you want to be, and I help create a map, a bridge to get you from where you are to where you want to be. It would be my honor and a pleasure to share my intuitive hits and guidance with you, as I was doing today. And I just invite you to keep following the intuitive hits, the intuitive breadcrumbs, and trust that all will be revealed and all is unfolding in divine timing. And just know that all is well. Lots of love and light. Be well, beautiful creative soul.